It wasn't a scream that alerted the authorities, nor a frantic call from a concerned neighbor. It was a single, calm voice, coming from thousands of miles away, that would set a nightmare in motion. On the 10th of August, 2023, British police received an international call from Pakistan. The caller spoke evenly, almost chillingly detached, reporting the death of a child in a quiet suburban home in Woking, Surrey. The child was 10-year-old Sarah Sharif. When officers forced their way into the house, they were met with a scene that would leave them shaken for years. Sarah lay motionless in her bed, her small body bearing the marks of severe, repeated abuse. Her face reflected silent suffering, yet those who might have explained what had happened, the adults in her life, were nowhere to be found. Sarah's life had always straddled two worlds. Born in 2013 to her British mother, Olga, and her Pakistani father, Irfan, she grew up navigating the challenges of two cultures. After her parents separated in 2017, Sarah and her brother moved to live primarily with Irfan and his new partner, Banish Batul. From the outside, the family appeared normal. Behind closed doors, a different reality festered. Over time, Sarah became quieter, withdrawn. Teachers and neighbors noticed bruises she couldn't or wouldn't explain. In hindsight, the warning signs were impossible to ignore. That August night, the truth could no longer be concealed. What began as a routine welfare check would soon unravel into one of the most harrowing child murder investigations in modern British history.
So who's from Focus actually living here?
Police! Josh, got the door open.
And just to bear in mind, the mayor has just got contact us, so he's currently driving back to the address. He said he cannot give more details.
Police, hello, anyone in?
He's very hysterical on the phone, they're really struggling.
Yeah, so we've got an interview with the facts and we're going to have a look.
Alright, dude. There's only one person linked to the address on both, is Ian Sleet. That doesn't match the name he's given us.
Good up.
Police, hello?
In the hours before Sarah's body was discovered, CCTV cameras captured movements that would become central to the case. Irfan Sharif, Banish Batul, and Irfan's brother, Faisal Malik, were seen leaving the UK in a hurry. They boarded a flight to Islamabad, Pakistan, taking 5 other children with them. Their departure took place on the 9th of August, 2023, just one day before Sarah was found. By the time the emergency call reached British police, those responsible were already thousands of miles away. This sudden flight transformed the tragic death of a child into an international manhunt, thrusting Sarah's story onto the global stage. News of her death sent shockwaves through the UK. The photograph released by police, a bright-eyed girl with soft features, smiling, gently haunted everyone who saw it. At her school, teachers and classmates remembered Sarah as a gentle, polite, and shy child. She rarely spoke up, yet her presence had always been felt. In the small town of Woking, grief mingled with anger. How could this happen to a child in plain sight? How could those closest to her slip away so easily? And above all, why did no one intervene sooner? Though it happened in her final hours, Sarah's injuries revealed that in the weeks leading up to her death, she had likely endured daily pain and suffering. Investigations later confirmed that every adult living in the house either inflicted or must have been aware of the violence she faced. In that sense, they were all responsible for her death. Meanwhile, in Pakistan, British authorities issued urgent requests to locate the 3 adults. But without a formal extradition treaty between Pakistan and the UK, pursuing justice became legally complex. In Pakistan, the 3 adults were arrested and faced legal proceedings, but extraditing them to the UK proved complex. Pakistani courts had to approve their voluntary return. At first, the suspects appeared willing to face justice, but they later hesitated, citing concerns about unfair trials and their safety. Finally, after weeks of diplomatic negotiations and court rulings, the 3 adults boarded a flight back to the UK.
Cheers, mate. Mr. Malik. Probably, sir. Which one is your bag?
I don't have any bag.
You have no bag?
No.
We'll look overhead. Right, just put your hands together like that, please. I'll explain more outside, okay?
Sorry?
I'll explain more things outside, okay? So you confirm no bag?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I promise we don't have any more bag.
Just confirm what seat you're in.
Okay. Fine. We'll hold for a moment while we confirm.
Our side of things. The body of Sarah Sharif was
So just listen carefully to what I have to say. The body of Sarah Sharif was discovered on the 10th of August 2023 at 6 Hammond Road, Horsell. From the injuries sustained by her and the investigation conducted, you are suspected of her murder. You are therefore arrested for the murder of Sarah Sharif.
Irfan Sharif was arrested and formally informed of the charges against him. Binish Batul was also taken in for questioning as investigators carefully outlined the seriousness of the case. You are about to be interviewed for the offense of murder. What is your understanding of that offense? Under the harsh lights of the interrogation room, detectives questioned each suspect individually. Irfan Sharif sat silently for long moments, his voice subdued and strained when officers pressed him on why he had failed to seek medical help. As the case progressed to court, the details unfolded before a stunned nation. Prosecutors described a disturbing pattern of prolonged abuse, challenging the defense's claim of innocence. They questioned why a family with nothing to hide would choose to flee the country rather than call for emergency assistance. Sarah's concealed injuries, they argued, spoke volumes about what had truly occurred behind closed doors. Taking the stand, Irfan broke down in tears, insisting that Sarah's death was a tragic accident. The courtroom fell silent as the brief, heartbreaking story of a young girl's life, defined by fear, pain, and unanswered questions, was laid bare. The trial became more than a determination of guilt or innocence. It evolved into a search for truth, justice, and a sobering reflection on how a child's suffering can remain unseen until it is too late.
Irfan Sharif, Binish Batul and Faisal Malik, stand up. Irfan Sharif, for the murder of Sarah Sharif, I sentence you to imprisonment. Binish Batul, for the murder of Sarah Sharif, I sentence you to imprisonment for life. Taking account of all the relevant circumstances and the aggravating and mitigating factors that I have set out, the minimum term will be 33 years, less the time that you have spent on remand.
Now confined behind prison walls, Irfan Sharif, Binish Batur, and Faisal Malik live in isolation, burdened by the choices that led to Sarah's death. Once united by silence and denial, they now face long sentences that serve as daily reminders of a young life lost and the secrets that destroyed it. Sarah Sharif's death shocked the nation and ignited a painful debate about the hidden dangers children can face behind closed doors. Her case exposed troubling gaps in Britain's child protection system, particularly around homeschooling and families beyond routine oversight. Politicians, charities, and child welfare advocates called for urgent reforms, stricter monitoring, clearer reporting, and stronger safeguards where abuse can be concealed. For Sarah's mother, Olga, the trial brought only limited peace. Outside the modest home where Sarah died, a small memorial grew. Flowers, candles, soft toys, and handwritten notes from strangers moved by her story. Neighbors paused in silence, struggling to grasp how such tragedy unfolded unnoticed. Teddy bears and fading bouquets became fragile symbols of innocence, lost, and a future never lived. As the memorial grew, the nation saw Sarah not as a case file, but as a child who dreamed, laughed, and deserved to be protected, remembered, at last, and never forgotten.